What we are going to do today is we are going to learn how to make complex containers. Last time we went to do research, we researched about funerary urns, right, and containers that had a lot of importance in humanity. So what we are going to do today is we are going to make a functional container. We are going to begin with a simple shape like an egg, and we are going to make it into something complex, right? For our project, we planned on making a plan that you will do before you begin making or building your container or your piggy bank. Okay? The shape is going to begin like an egg, but it will become something else than an egg, right? Okay. Step one, you are going to grab your egg and you are going to make a line right there. That way you will know exactly where the two pieces will meet once after we hollow them out. Okay? Then you are going to grab your wire tool. Can I have a wire tool, please? And you are going to wrap it around your piggy bank and you are going to cut it in half. Right now your piggy banks are leather hard, which means firm, cold to the touch but firm, right? They don't sink. That way you will be able to hollow them out without misshaping them. Then you are going to grab one of your needle tools and with another needle tool you are going to mark it around and you are going to go around and around. That way you will keep the thickness of the walls consistent. Oh, that one was too thick a little. Okay, and just keep going around and around and around until you go all the way around and you are going to end up connecting all of your lines and you are going to have an evenly thick wall all the way around. Something like that. So far so good. And you are going to do the same thing to both of them. You do not want them too thick, you don't want them too thin. If you make them too thick, the chances of it exploding are greater, right? And if you make them too thin, the chances of you breaking them when you are going to put them together is also greater, and you do not want to risk it. Anyway, so think of it as though these will go all the way around, right? Then, with the spoon, you are going to hollow it out, just if it was like a little watermelon, slowly, because you don't want to break or deform the shape, and you take the clay out. All of the clay you are getting out, you are going to divide it into two parts. So you are going to continue doing that, and I have a helper doing this for me already, so we can speed up the process of the project. How are we doing? Almost done? Can you pass it to me, please? So we are going to have, just speeding up the process, something like this. You see how beautiful and consistent it is? Okay, once you have this, you are going to grab your clay, the leftover clay, and you are going to divide it. These are the insides, right? The guts of your piggy bank. You are going to divide it into two pieces, or something like this. Then you are going to, thank you. All of this clay came out of the insides of the piggy bank, right? I'm going to divide it into two. One is going to be for my limbs. This clay is really moist, so even though your clay on the outside is firmer, the inside is soft. I'm going to keep two. One, probably about this much, I'm going to break into smaller pieces, and I am going to put inside of a baggie. Can you pass me one of those water bottles, the short ones? The ones yep, those ones. And you are going to break it into smaller pieces. You are going to grab a baggie, one of the ones that you can tie up. Thank you. They are right here, behind our tools. And you are going to put your clay chunks in here. You are going to cover them with water. You are going to have equal amounts of water and clay to make slip. We have used slip before for decorating purposes, right? And today we are going to use it to make glue. So about that much clay and water. You are going to get the air out, and you are going to tie your baggie, but you are going to give it a little bit of space. That way the clay can move around when you are trying to make it one piece with your slip. We want to have a slip that has the consistency of what? Ranch dressing, melted chocolate, right? And you are going to work with it. Make sure it's really, really tight. Once you complete this project, you are going to get rid of this baggie. We are going to throw it away. This is going to be my glue. you want to work with the clay until it becomes really, really smooth, right? Would you please? This clay that I have left, and he's going to do the magic. He's going to keep working on the clay, make it really fast while I am working on this clay. With this clay, you are going to wedge it because you want to get rid of air pockets, right? And we are going to make a coil. What is a coil? Anybody?
Like a spiral?
Nope. Well, yeah, but in this case, a coil will be a clay rope. You want to make sure that it's a really nice clay rope, and I am wedging my clay so it doesn't have air pockets, right? Because air pockets do what?
Explode.
They destroy projects, right? So I am going to wedge the clay, and I'm going to work really fast. Right now I have my eggs right in front of me, my egg cut in half, right? Now, with the clay that I have in front of me, I'm going to slap it on the table to make something closer to a rectangular prism. Right there. You see, as I am slamming the clay is expanding, becoming longer, right? And at the same time, I am getting rid of air pockets. Can I borrow a spatula, please, to clean my table? Because you want to work on a very clean surface. Spatula, please. Thank you. The cleaner your surface, the better. You see, as I keep going, my clay keeps expanding, and it's becoming longer and longer. I want to end up with a long coil that is no shorter than my hand span. Okay? So, now I am going to get rid of my sharp edges, and then I will be ready to roll my clay into a beautiful coil. Remember, when you are working with a coil, you want to put pressure on and think of it as though you are caressing the table with your fingers. And you only roll with this part of your hand, not with your fingers, because otherwise you end up with coils that are very inconsistent, uneven, wavy. Right? Anything that is bigger than or longer than the span of your hand, or compare it to the needle tool, slightly longer than your needle tool will be enough clay to do our project. Okay, this will be really good. You want something thicker than your thumbs, slightly. You see, as thick as my thumb maybe? Actually, you do not want anything thicker than your thumb because it takes longer to dry. If you end up with something thicker, we may have a really fat, like you decide to make an elephant with really chunky legs, we have to poke the bottom so they don't blow up. Okay, this part of clay, I am going to cut in half. Right there. You see how nice my coils are, consistent in thickness? Okay, this will take, it looks easy, but it will take you a little bit of practice. I'm going to cut that in half, and those in half again. So right now I have 4 pieces that are very consistent, right, in size. I am going to do the same to this one. Half, half, and half. Now I'm going to pick my pieces, my beans, the ones that look the closest to each other, and I am going to soften the bottom, slowly squeezing to make them a little bit pointier. And I am going to end up with 4 of them that are identical. Would you please, one end? Okay, I'm going to end up with 4 of these. I'm going to grab one of them, the shortest one, and I am going to make it something like a marshmallow. This is how you do it. You start pressing down, hold the sides. I want something chunkier. Okay. Right there, to make it perfect, you may want to roll it on the table. Press, roll, press. Okay? So I will end up something with a really fat marshmallow. See it right there? And I'm going to do 4 of these with a pointy end. And last, I'm going to make 2 more that are slightly longer. And I'm going to make them even pointier than the other ones. These are going to be my ears. I'm going to make a pig with long ears. Do you have to make a pig? You can make anything you want. This is just a sample of how to make a simple, complex shape sculpture that is really fast to make. Well, when I say fast, I mean it will take me 20 minutes, but it will take you 3 classes just because it's your first project, right? So as you can see, I have 4 pigs right there, right? And I have 2 others right here and 1 marshmallow. With the clay I have left over, I'm going to make something as skinny as my pinky finger, because this is going to be my Band-Aid. I'll explain what that means.
It's going to be this thing that joins the 2 halves together.
Exactly. We are going to put it around. This is going to be thinner, and we want it more moist than everything else. So I am going to, as it got as skinny as my pinky finger, I started to flatten it, right? Right there. I'm going to add a little bit of moisture to it because I need it to spread out easier than everything else. Right there. How is the slip going?
Perfect.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, so I have my other ones. I'm going to make the ears. Look how easy it is. If I hold the bottom and then I flattened it, this is going to be like rabbit ears. These are long. That's okay. Okay, there is one. Okay, and again, just grab it on the side, flatten the sides, or the front and the back. So far, so good? And 2, right there. Again, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pigs that are identical, 1 little marshmallow, 2 things that are going to be my ears, and 1 Band-Aid, right? I'm going to need a tiny bit more clay just to make a tail. This one is going to be really, really soft because I needed to do exactly what I wanted to do. So that will work. I think we are ready to attach because our slip magically is nice. Let me see. The perfect slip will feel like it has no lumps. If you leave lumps, thank you so much. If you leave lumps inside of the bag, when you try to squeeze it out, it will blow up on you. You will end up with clay all over your clothes, or your friend will. Let me see. He says there is a hole in it. I'm going to use that hole to, it's right here. Usually what you do, you just poke it, tiny hole to get your slip out, right? But there is a hole right there. I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger. Ready. So I have my pieces in front of me, and I have my 2 perfect halves. Right now, remember, when I did the one originally, I made a line, right? This will help me attach them exactly as they go, because I just have to make sure that the lines touch each other, right? That's how you know where they are meeting perfectly. Okay, so this one, let's imagine it has it somewhere, because this one is not the one that I did, but I'll find it in just 1 second. Right there. Nope, right there.
You added a little bit ago.
Above the brand.
Right, almost.
This is what you want to avoid. Try having to go around and around to figure out where it fits. Nope. Almost. Okay.
Good enough.
Good enough. So let's imagine that this was our original one and our line was right there. Right? Now, you are going to score inwards. When I say inwards, I mean going towards the center with your scoring tool. Scoring tools are these little broom-like tools, wire. I'm going to score going inwards, because if you score outwards, it's going to flare out and you may break it. But if you do it towards the center, then the clay will compress and it will become stronger instead of becoming weaker, right? So we are going to do the same thing to both. Scoring, guys, is not just making lines on your project. Is you are creating ridges for the clay or your slip to go into those ridges and become something like Velcro. It will grab onto both sides. The clay that goes into the ridges will become one with the other clay, and you will have the best adhesive that you can have. So You do that to both sides. You need to make sure, and this is one of the last steps, that your projects always, if they are hollow, have a hole for the air to come out. Otherwise, things will just explode. When the projects are heating up, all the vapors and all the heat will create a lot of pressure in your project, and it will just make it blow up. And that is something you do not want to have when you have spent so much time on a project, right? Okay, perfect. I am ready. So I have my slip right here with no lumps. It feels really good, like ranch melted chocolate. So you begin, just remember, every time you want to make a project to work really well and stick well, score, dab, attach. So we scored already. Now we are dabbing with our slip, right? Perfect. It looks like if I was decorating a cake, right? Right there. Not too much.
Dab it up.
Not too little. And then that's it. You do not brush it. You only dab it, okay? Right there. There is where my lines meet. Now I'm going to press. And this is where things get a little bit messy. What I am going to do, since I don't want to make a great big mess, I'm going to take the excess off. Guys, don't press in the center because the thing will collapse, right? Especially if it's not quite leather hard. Okay, I'm going to take my needle tool just to take the excess off because I don't need it right now. Okay, I'm going to grab my scoring tool and I'm going to score my surface. Think of it as reconstructive surgery. You want to make sure that these two pieces are attached for good and forever, and they will not come apart when the piggy bank dries or when it gets fired. Score, dab with the slip. Just dab, don't brush. Now you grab your Band-Aid, which should be really, really soft right now. Yep, perfect. And as you press the clay onto the body of the pig, it's going to expand. Here. Okay. Okay, now you start pulling the clay, making it one with the rest, and you work on the egg until it is seamless. You cannot see where the two pieces attached, right? Can you pass me a towel? There is one by the sink. Right there. You are not going to need to clean your hands. I just do because I have to hurry and finish this fast. I don't want to make a great big mess. But as you can see, you are going to work on the clay until the place where you join them is seamless. You see, keep going. Perfect. Okay. Now I am ready to attach my last pieces. I am going to mark exactly where they are going to go. Again, you may not be making a pig, you may be making something different. You may be making something that has a head, right? You will, if you make something that has a head, you need to make sure you make a hole somewhere for the air to come out, and the egg has to be, the head has to be hollow, right? And you can make the head maybe with a pinch pot-like thing, then we can attach. You just have to make sure that air is never trapped in any space because things will blow up. You will end up with a pig. If you do not make a hole, the pig will explode and there will be a pig massacre inside of the kiln and there will be like body parts everywhere of the other pigs, right? So you don't want that to happen. So you need to be careful on that. Always make sure. Okay, ready? So, come back to me. Last, we are going to mark where we are going to do the attachments. These are going to be my feet. Score, 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 score. Now, before I do that, I forgot one step. To make the legs, you are going to, your clay is soft, right? You are going to put your bamboo stick in the center of the pig, right there. The pig, right? So you are going to press, and then you are going to pull down, pull the leg up, like this. Let me see where, I think I should do it on a different surface here. Maybe I can see. Okay, right there. I am going to hold this, and I'm going to press right there, and then you are going to pull this up and move your stick back and forth. And you are going to end up with something like this. You see? Like a hoof. That's my first one. Again, right? Press down, then pull it up. Put pressure on the clay so it doesn't break, right? Yes? That's two. I'm going to do the other ones just flat right here. Move it back and forth, bring it up. 1, 2, give it a pedicure. Right there. And my last one, right there. Bring it up. Again, just a little pedicure. I have 4, right there. Right there. Okay, I'm ready to attach. Okay, we score. Our legs are ready. We dab. Right? Ready? Now we attach. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Questions? No questions? Okay. Now, before you do anything else, you want to pull the clay down. And you can do it with your hand, or you can do it with a popsicle stick or a wooden stick. These sticks are really perfect for pulling clay down, okay, because they have more friction than your hands. You want to make it one piece, and you want to make it perfect. Now remember, the chances of air pockets being between the legs and the body are almost none, because you score and you dabbed with clay and now you're attaching. So not only that, if you wiggle it, then it should be just fine. The polishing of the pig it comes at the very end. Okay, now I'm going to add the snout. Oh, I forgot the eyes. I need 2 little pebbles right there. 1 and 2. Okay, right there. These 2 are going to be my eyes. Now, this is where my snout is going to go. Score. Dab. Questions? Questions? None? This is kind of big. I am going to score this one, just to make sure that everything sticks really, really well. I should have seen which one was my nicer side and then score the uglier side, because that one is going to be the one hidden, right? Okay, right there. Press. Okay, now I'm going to poke it because this is very chunky, right? Okay, but he has to have nostrils anyway, so right there. Now with my needle tool, I am going to score right above to add the eyes, because my scoring tool is too big. So I'm going to score right there and right there. Score. Dab. I'm going to grab the little pebbles. I'm going to add the eyes right there. 1 and 2. Right? So far, so good. I'm going to poke the eyes just because I feel like it. You don't have to. Right there. Scoring tool. Now I'm going to add the ears. Score. Score. Dab. attach. Uy, no, these are okay, not too big. One. This is a donkey crossed with a pig. Big ears with chunky body, sorry. Okay, that's okay, that's okay. 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 Now I'm going to give it. I don't know what you were saying about my pig, but be nice. Okay? Last. Now remember, when you are almost done, listen, when you are almost done, you need to make sure that you cut a slit on top of the body because this is where your money is going to go, right? Now the next question will be, how am I going to get the money out?
Smash it.
You smash it, yeah, but since you put so much work into it, you can make a hole on the belly, and that way we can put a cork on it, and then we can pull the money out if that's what you choose. To make the hole on the top, you need an arrow tool. Arrow tools are like an arrow on the top. There is a curved arrow on the bottom. This one is the one we use to cut the slit on top. Now your pig or fox or rabbit or whatever you end up making,
Donkey pig.
needs to be very unique. You need to do something to it where you, when we pull it out, you see it and you say, mine is the one that looked like that. Last step, we are almost done. Well, actually, we have two more steps. We are going to add the tail. Okay, stand right there for a second. With my very soft clay, okay, I'm going to add the tail. This is how you do it. You have a very soft piece of clay. I'm going to roll it. We're going to make it really long. And as long as the clay is soft, it's going to do exactly what you want it to do, right? Let me just add a little bit of water just to make sure. I already scored the bum right there, right? Dab. And attach the tail. You place it flat first, like a donkey tail again, okay? And then we start curling it. And you put a little bit of pressure on it so it doesn't break. Right there. Okay? Right there. And then when you are done with your whole project and it looks beautiful, all of the clays together, you grab your brush. There is some brushes in there that have very short bristles. These ones, you can put more pressure on them. You are going to give it a skin treatment. You are going to make it really, really smooth and do all the polishing and all the finishing that you haven't done. Your pig has to be seamless. That means that you do not see where one thing begins and the other one ends, right? And just by using water and slip, if you have a big crack like this one, guys, you can grab some of your slip and patch it up. You see? So you are doing the aesthetic surgery now. And you just keep going until everything is perfect and in one piece. Then you put your name and last name somewhere on the bottom of the body. And you will be done. There you have it. Okay? Questions? None? Okay, we're done. Thank you.